Welcome everyone to week 3 of the Art of Color and Light. If someone would be so kind as to begin a drum roll, we are rolling right into the topic of color this week. And isn't it nice to finally be free of values? Ha, not so fast. We're actually not free of values. We're never free of values because value is still the foundation of a picture. Remember how last week began with this basic truth, that value is what makes a picture read and you don't need color? I want us all to keep that in mind this week, but let's add to it. This means that color can only work when your values are working. That is the basic truth that's going to bind everything together this week. The subject of this week is a color theory that I guess I actually make my living off of. It's called color temperature. This to me is the holy grail of color theory. If you understand color temperature, you understand color and light. It's really as simple as that. And just like with values last week, I'll do my best to leave no stone unturned so we can all begin to get a solid grasp of both how color works in nature and then how we can take those lessons and apply it to our paintings for great results. After this week's lecture, you'll have an understanding of how color and light work together in nature. I say the word together because color is really the result of the light, as we'll see, and you'll see how those two are inexorably tied. Next, an understanding of color temperature as nature's color theory. This is kind of, like I say, my holy grail of color theory is this idea of color temperature, and you'll see from there you can apply it to your own paintings. Next, various methods of interpreting and applying color temperatures to your painting practice, kind of taking the lessons from nature and then using them artistically. Next, an understanding of how color acts in light and shadow families. Remember with our values lesson, we talked about light and shadow families a whole lot. Well, likewise, color also applies differently in each of those two families. An appreciation of the power of grays. As you'll find out, understanding grays is the key to understanding good color, and we'll talk a lot about that in the last half of this lecture. And finally, we'll find out the answer to everyone's burning question, which is, what color should I choose? It's a question that I actually get a whole lot, and I'm happy to say there is an answer to it, but it's going to take a whole week's worth of lecture to discover it. And there's no time to waste, so let's get going.